Planet Dolan.
From smashing electronics to breaking an arm, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the worst thing a babysitter has done. Part 3, I'm Pringle the One, and today, I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Reanimated Cat. When he was 10, Spinal Palm had a sleepover with a friend. His mother was home for most of the day, but at night the babysitter came. He had never seen the babysitter before, and Spinal Palm and his friend did not know what to do. So they went to Spinal Palm's room to play some mobile games. The babysitter did not approve of them doing that and took his mother's tablet and smashed it against the hardwood floors. Spinal Palm and his friends were stunned. He asked,
"Why are you so mad?"
She said, "Because I am sick and tired of these electronics ending social lives and making people slaves to screens." She then made them go to bed at 7, after taking away all their sheets and blankets as well as their pajamas, so they were uncomfortably trying to sleep. When his mother came home, Spinal Palm told her everything, and the babysitter got fired on the spot. They realized that she had secretly stolen money from both his mother and father's dresser. She had to give them all the pocket money she had, and she ended up not being able to get a job in the state. Number 9 was submitted by Falcon Stick. When Gergak was about 7, he had a babysitter come for a whole day. She came in his room while he was asleep, but he woke up because he was a very light sleeper. The babysitter stripped at the end of his bed, and Gergak thought to himself,
"What the heck?"
When she saw that he was awake, she ran out of his room naked. He just sat there in shock, but then barricaded his door. She did it again and again, so finally he asked,
"Lady, why do you keep doing this?"
She just said it was because she wanted to. Gergak was so mad that he grabbed a water gun and shot her with ice water. She got mad and ran out of his room, soaked, naked, and cold. He laughed, but never saw her again. Number 8 was submitted by Blue Moon Wolf 9561. When Emoji was little, his oldest sister was the worst babysitter. One time, he left his stuffed animal Clifford in the living room, and she knew it was there and that he couldn't sleep without it. He decided to grab it and go back to bed. She saw him come out of his room, but she yelled at him to get back in bed. He kept walking out to get Clifford, but she got up, grabbed his ear, and dragged him to bed. He tried getting his Clifford 10 more times when he got to him. Emoji grabbed him and proceeded to walk back to bed when she saw him. His sister got up, grabbed Clifford, and tried to pull it away from him, but he didn't let go. She threw him to the ground and kept pulling on Clifford while holding him down with her foot. Emoji eventually let go, and she grabbed his arm and pulled him to his room, not even giving him time to get up. He cried, but she put a hand on his mouth to prevent him from screaming. She continued hearing noises coming from him, so she plugged his nose as well so he couldn't breathe. She also had his hands and legs pinned down. After she left, Emoji got up and ran to grab Clifford again, then ran back to bed. Number 7 was submitted by Tyrant X. When Shima was 6 years old, her and her sister had this really mean babysitter whenever their mom was out doing her job. She rarely fed them and always mixed up their belongings. She would even beat them, even though they did nothing wrong. One day, the babysitter started yelling at Shima for reasons she didn't even know. Being 6 years old at the time, she tried talking to her to calm her down. Then, out of nowhere, she bit her nose and gave her a horrible nosebleed. When her mom got home, Shima told her the whole story, but she didn't believe her. It wasn't until another incident involving her forcing her and her sisters to wear each other's pajamas, with her sister only being 2. Their mother was so livid at the woman that she never brought them back. When Shima got older, she heard a rumor that the woman in question had been sent away to prison, but it felt like it wasn't good enough. Number 6 was submitted by Zorak Gamer. When Tolop was 5, he had a mean babysitter. One day, he was sitting on the sofa when she threw an egg at his head and complained that he left the fridge open, even though she was the one that had left it open. Then, when he went to the pool, she pushed him in and jumped on top of him. While Tolop was drowning, she scratched his back and started cussing at him. When his mom got home, the babysitter slapped her across the face, then left. Still, Tolop got grounded for a month. The next day, she robbed their house, then took his Game Boy and smashed it right in front of him. Tolop was so mad that he said, "Get out of my house!" He cried himself to sleep that night. When he turned 17, she framed him for theft because she had her shoes stolen and accused him of doing it. He went to jail for a day. Everyone thinks she's innocent. Number 5 was submitted by GTM Gaming 13. When Dolan was 9, he came home from school one day to find a strange woman there and not his mother. He thought nothing of it and found out she was the babysitter, but she had this really weird look that just made his hair stand on end. A while later, she cooked dinner, and having only his mother cook for him, Dolan didn't eat it. When she saw him push his dinner away, he screamed like a freaking banshee, "You eat this or I'll shove it down your throat!" He just sat there like a mouse about to die and slowly picked at his food. Dolan was so terrified that as soon as she turned away, he bolted to his room, locked the door, and tried to calm down. He pissed himself 2 times and had pee running down his legs as the creepy woman kept beating the crap out of his door. Thank God his mom showed up 45 minutes later and found the babysitter kicking and punching his door. Dolan never trusted those demons again. Number 4 was submitted by Brandy the Bunny. When Gooby was 6, she had a babysitter that was really nice to her brothers but not her. One time she was drawing a cute character that she made herself called Paper Jam. So her babysitter walked up and ripped the picture. She said it was an ugly skeleton. Then a few minutes later she punched Gooby because she started the picture all over again. Then 3 minutes later she smashed her iPad on the ground. She's glad that she now has a teenage stepsister who can take care of her. Number 3 was submitted by Fox Luck. Doopy was around 5 when there was this babysitter who lived down the street from her grandma's house. This woman was pretty old, like 60. Doopy and her sister went there often, and they weren't the only kids there. The babysitter would often hit and never feed them. They would come back home with bruises and were hungry. One time, they were watching a movie, and Doopy laid down on the floor with her hands above her head. The woman managed to step on her arm and fracture it. She didn't feel it because when she did it, Doopy passed out and woke up on the couch with a cast and ice and her mom beside her. The babysitter never got in trouble, and she went back there until she moved. Number 2 was submitted by Celestal Dragneel. When Melissa was in the 4th grade and her sister in the 7th, they had this babysitter who really liked to slack off when their parents were not in the house. She didn't do her chores, and she would force Melissa and her sister to do her chores for her. If they refused, she would get a plate and break it, and then call her parents and tell them that they broke it. Later that night, they were scolded for breaking a plate. A day later, the babysitter came to their house early and said, "Good morning," with a smile towards their parents. After they left, she started slacking off again, and Melissa and her sister did her chores. This went on for a year until the babysitter got fired after the parents saw her dirty habits. Number 1 was submitted by me, your narrator, Pringle the One. The worst thing a babysitter has ever done to me was when we had a very nice one. She took care of me, always fed me, always helped me out. Till one day we started noticing some of the things in our house kept vanishing. We would look around and my mom always was mad at me for that reason. She would be like, "Where did you hide it? Did you hide it? Where is it? Where is it?" And she would be stumbling on her words, just scaring me. She would even scream in Spanish and she would say, "¿Dónde está la vaina?" And that means crap in Spanish. She was really pissed. And she kept on putting the blame on me, but I had no idea where any of the stuff was. She ended up beating me with a belt, and man, that hurt a lot. My legs would end up being red afterwards. Then after a couple of months or so, we ended up finding out that she stole items here and there, to the point where she stole so much, she stole about $10,000 worth of items, and she would only do it when my mom wasn't around and she was only taking care of me. She ended up having an argument with my mom. Until then, we have never figured out what she did with the money or where she even is to this day. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the worst job you've ever had? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown.
This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys.
Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Peace.